So let me just summarize sort of what you told me before, right? So you said you were working as an illustrator in Brazil and in Paris, and but you throughout this whole time you were doing these jobs, you were actually really interested and inspired by working with kids. And so you mentioned that you're really curious about sort of training and helping children develop their creativity, and to train sort of their creative muscle and their creative spirit, to also learn some more survival skills, like everyday kind of skills on how to be creative throughout the everyday.
Yeah.
Is that right?
That's it, yes.
Okay, great. So when did you sort of start doing these workshops for kids?
5 months ago, on my birthday, on April 16th. I started the project, Glück Workshops, it's called.
Yeah, I really love that name. It's very sweet.
Yeah.
How did you come up with that?
It's an interesting story actually, because at the end of last year, I was doing my zine. I was creating this zine where I was discovering characters that were hidden in the snow here in Berlin. And so I would find like objects, like I found cars, and I would just draw a little face in it and take a picture, and that was my whole zine. But in the process of creating that, I encountered some kids who saw me doing these smiley faces, and they started to point at me and scream, like, "Look, look, look, look!" And I had no idea what it was because I don't speak any German. But this stuck in my mind. And then when I came back home and I discovered what it was, I was like so happy that I decided to keep this name for myself.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
And it's very sweet.
Yes.
I love that. I love that thought. I wanted to talk with you sort of about the participants a little bit more, if that's okay. And so who are the kids that are participating in your workshops?
Yeah, that's interesting. It's mostly kids that have parents that are interested in technology, right?
Ah, okay.
Most of the time when I see, like, because the parents, when they come to get the kids at the end of the workshop, the kids, they are normally show what they just created.
Yeah.
And I can see that, yes, there are some parents that come because they were intrigued by it and they are kind of discovering it. But I think most parents already know what their kids are doing, and they look at what they learned and they understand that. And
How do they understand that? That's really interesting.
Because I think it's people who have involvement with technology mostly that goes after these kind of workshops. It's not like moms, like normal moms that just want to do like artistic things, even though I think those moms, they would be interested as well in doing the tech. But it's just, I think the first wave of people that are interested in that, it's parents that already have some sort of involvement with technology, with apps and with internet.
Yeah. So can you give me an example of a time when the parents was like, yeah, I get what you're doing?
Yes, I have an example. On the last workshop I gave, I was teaching kids how to make a house that when you turn off the light, the house lights up. So it's a little...
I saw that video. It's cute.
And there was this girl who was making it. And at the end, I don't know exactly what was going wrong, but it wasn't really working anymore because I think she did something. So this happened, right? It's technology, so it won't work sometimes.
I know, you have to...
Dad came, he looked at it, and he was like, that's okay, I know how to fix this. We can fix together at home. So at the end, in my opinion, it was even better that it didn't work because it created an opportunity for this dad and this daughter to build or to fix something together, right?
That's a great thing. Yeah, and it feels like that can give you also a lot back.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's really powerful. Yeah.
And there is also the other, like the other extreme opposite situation.
For
Dad
example?
to me, he said, listen, I don't know what you do now because my son, he wants a 3D printer now, he wants Arduino, Raspberry Pi, I don't even know what is it, like I don't know what it is. I was like, just give it to him and he will show you what it is, learn.
Yeah. But it sounds like the dad was more of joking, correct? He was not
He was
angry.
joking, he was kind half joking, but half being serious. Like, you brought me like a little bit of a problem.
I see that. That's really funny.
Yeah.
So I watched a bunch of your videos, and I just love to see how the boys and the girls were really working together. Is that, sort of 50-50 gender representation, like usual, or?
I don't, unfortunately, no. I don't think so. I think most of the time it's a bunch of guys.
Most of the time, guys, in your work, in the children's workshops?
Yeah, in the children workshops, it's a bunch of
Oh,
boys mostly, unless it's something related to, for instance, for instance, with the house, it was different. The girls came. When I do laser cutted brooches, which is something that you can wear at the end, it's more girls also. So
interesting.
yeah, it's interesting in that it's something that I don't really like actually, but it's, well, we can't escape from that. Society is structured like that, right? Girls who are interested in technology, it's still something that I think it's still waking up.
I see. So you think that sort of the participants in the space, having parents who are interested in technology, is kind of a representation of the overall community of technology enthusiasts.
I think so too. I think so.
Oh.
And I think that most people, they are not really aware yet of this kind of universe, right? Because it's a whole universe. And when I tell normal people, or like people that are not involved at all with technology, when I tell them about what they are creating, they get crazy. They get crazy about it. So
Yeah.
I think we are really in this phase of expansion, like this phase where everybody's starting to understand that this is existing and that this is becoming big. And it's a very interesting phase, I think, to be participating. Well, discovery. Right?
Yeah, I bet. I mean, I love it. I'm totally interested in, the way people learn about doing things. So I think it's really great. And I love that you are so excited and passionate about this. So how do you go about language?
Well, in the beginning, I was really feeling bad because I don't speak any German and I never really had time to properly invest on this, because I would have to and I will do that. But at the end, I realized that actually not speaking German was good. Because it takes the kids out of their comfort zone. And kids, in my opinion, to the contrary of adults, they like that. They thrive on that.
Yeah.
And so today I see this as an extra tool that I have to make kids connect and understand each other, because they know that I don't speak German, so things are not going to work the way they are used to, or in school, for instance, right? And what I always do is I ask them, like, do any of you speak English or French or Portuguese? Because these are the three languages I speak, right? And there's always one or two kids that are like, yay, me. So I nominate those kids as the official translator. And these kids help me, when it's necessary also, because there are lots of ways to communicate with them. I don't speak a lot with them. I make much more with them. or I draw, or if they have a question, they point or they try to make and they show me. There are other ways to communicate with the kids that I actually prefer.
Okay, so that these sort of communication strategies are like showing and appointing somebody and really.
And at the end, they are all communicating amongst themselves. And instead of asking me what to do, they ask each other, which for me is much better, because that's what I want. I want them to work together and to exchange behavior and weirdness, because sometimes they can be really weird, right? And
Yeah, I bet.
and I love that too.
That is so funny. Yeah. No, I totally understand. So I want to talk a little bit about the programming, and I know you told me about different workshops already, but really about sort of the projects that are for making, right? So what types of programming do you offer?
When you say programming, you're talking about the ideas for the workshops, is that it?
Yeah, or the workshops themselves, like what you actually have done with kids.
What I've actually done, okay. I think the coolest one I've ever done is this Drawbot, which is a robot that draws when you turn it on.
Yeah.
Water, and it starts walking like crazy. Because it's very easy to make. There is no problem of like hurting anyone. No, it's safe. It shows very simply like negative and positive. It shows a little bit of electronic. It's not so much, but still, it puts them in contact with this piece called DC motor, which they love, because the piece itself is very interesting already.
Yeah.
So this is one of the projects that I developed for Inner Lab. I created this wooden laser-cutted robot.
Okay, so you cut that piece.
Yeah, I cut that, exactly. So I give one for each kid, and they customize it, and then they mount with what everyone has, right? The pens, the motor, the battery.
Yeah, I did see that you sort of, in one of the links you sent me, you put on a table sort of these clean sets of materials, and I did see those shapes and stuff like that. So can you tell me a little bit about how this activity then actually unfolded when you were working with the kids? So they came into the room, and what happened then?
Well, I developed a whole step-by-step, which I can send to you. It's a PDF that I project on the wall, very big, so the kids can read and understand in which step they are. So, like, first step, let's decorate. So, like, 5 minutes, everyone decorating. 5 minutes is over. Okay, now let's add the little motor in the middle. So 10 minutes to do that. So everyone does. I wait. I help, because in the middle of that, there's a lot of crazy things happening. Kids doing stuff on each other sometimes. It's cool.
That's interesting, yeah. So a little unruly, it sounds like.
Yeah. It's cool to have this feeling of play. I really don't like this feeling of like school and learning and like being really serious. I really go against all of that. Music, I put balloons, I decorate the place for them.
Music, that sounds really interesting.
Yeah. I put some music. Actually, I have this CD that I love from those artists from the 60s. There were a bunch of kids who had soul bands, and they made a whole compilation with music just from kids to kids. So
that's sweet.
They talk about, like, there is this music that says, like, I'm not ready for love. Talks about the problems that kids have.
Yeah. That's so funny. I love it.
So
So it sounds like you really want to create an environment where kids feel like their voice is heard, and that really represents sort of play and fun, but at the same time kind of gives them a structured way of going about a project. Is that right?
Exactly. So they don't feel completely lost because, well, they get lost in playful moments really fast. So it's good that while they play, there is also the learning part in the background happening.
So can you tell me more about the learning part? Like, what do you think is that learning part?
It's when you are focused on what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Even when you don't completely understand what's going on here, why those two work at the end. Just the fact that I know that I have to add the motor in the middle of my robot, and
Yeah.
that part here needs to be down. You cannot touch, otherwise the robot is not gonna walk. You know, very small details like this, that when you focus your attention to do this, that's for me, it's playing. You know, this is when you're
Mm-hmm.
playing. This is like the most serious thing that a human being can do. And yeah, that part is very important for me.
Yeah,
And
I see.
it's doing that at, in my videos. I always pay attention to record these parts
Yeah.
because to me they are magical.
Yeah. So among all the chaotic playing and screaming and tossing things around, there's always that sort of focus and paying attention to small details that then later connect towards a larger project.
Exactly. And at the end, we build together. We build a whole arena that they call it draw arena. And we put all the robots together and they all play together. So at the end it's like a mess and they love it. But it's really cool for them to build something together at the end.
Mm-hmm. That's
Without about like why is your robot red and why is mine green? I like it to put the battery. My battery is over too fast. What did I do wrong? There's always a little bit of a conversation afterwards also.
Wow, that's really an interesting way, a totally new way for me to actually look at these step-by-step projects and workshops. So that's really, really fascinating. I never really looked at it that way. So would you say though that robot project is really an exemplary project of the kinds of things that you do? Or are there other things that you would say, actually, if I would have to say like, this is what I'm all about, I would show this?
That's the thing. I am not all about anything specifically because I am all about the first thing I told you about, right? The creative.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, every time I do a new workshop, I fall in love with it. And I don't like just so much anymore because I'm tired already, you know? Every time I need new things the whole time. And
That's
every
really
time I finish a project, I'm already thinking about the next one that we're going to try, you know?
It sounds like generally in the workshops that you've done, everybody does their own workshop, their own projects, correct?
Yeah, and they bring back home.
They take them home. Okay.
Yeah, because they get really attached to it. They don't want to leave it there, you know? Seriously.
So it sounds like there's a little bit of a time pressure, right? If the workshop is like 1 or 2 hours long, that they really finish it then and there.
But it never happened actually that they didn't finish.
Okay.
Also because when there is a kid that is a little bit slower than the others, they normally help each other. You know?
Okay.
It's very cute actually.
But well, I bet it also has to do with your great planning.
Well, yeah.
Because it sounds like you're very prepared.
Yeah, I'm prepared to let things flow naturally. That's the thing. Not to be a control freak about, okay, if the kid doesn't finish, that's okay. That's not the end of the world. You know, if the kid doesn't understand that, that is okay. That's not the main goal here. For kids to go back home and start to vomit a bunch of information. My goal is you come here, you are curious about something, you test something, you play with something you've never played before, you speak with this weird Brazilian woman and that doesn't even speak German. You help other kids that don't speak German as well, and at the end you're together and it's good and you feel good about something you create and you go back home with that, you know?
That's great. Yeah. So it's really an experience sort of that can really expand in several directions, like sort of that cultural direction, the collaborative direction, exploring materials and so forth. That's really cool.